Welcome to part 4 of Flotality's CrossFit Yoga. In this section, I will guide you through a full body stretch, which will also help to calm the body and the mind back down after an intense workout. So whenever you're ready, come down to a kneeling position on the floor. Come into extended child's pose with your forehead on the floor, arms stretched forwards. Take a few deep breaths, stretching the arms forwards towards the front of the mat, getting into the armpits. If you're comfortable here, you can begin reaching further, lifting off your heels, bringing your chin to the floor and your eye gaze forwards. Take a few more deep breaths. If you want to go further, keep reaching forwards and see if you can bring your chest all the way to the mat. Be careful not to let your hips come too far past your knees. Notice how my lower back is completely neutral. The stretch should only be in your upper back, the thoracic spine, shoulders and underarms. Take a few more deep breaths here. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Carefully come back up onto your knees and we will come into hero pose. Option 1, sit back on your heels. If this is too much, you can always use a block or a cushion to support between the knees and the bum. The stretch should be down the front of your quads. You should not feel any pain in the knees. If you do, then come back up to option 1. Option 2, take the feet outside of the hips. Carefully lower your sit bones to the floor. Again, you should just feel the stretch in the quads and not the knees. Whilst we stretch the legs, we can also stretch the arms. So take your right arm up and reach down the back, bending at the elbow. Use your left hand to gently push back on the right elbow to increase the stretch. Tricep stretch. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths here, breathing in through the nose before switching over and doing the exact same thing on the left arm, still in hero pose with the legs. When we breathe in yoga, it is important that we always breathe in through the nose and switch over. This draws the breath deeper into the lungs, where we have more nodes and sensors of our parasympathetic system, one of our autonomic nervous systems, which is also known as the rest and digest system. Activating this system will help to aid relaxation as we slow the heart rate down and relax our muscles. Nearly there now, just a few last breaths. Exhale, relax the arms and carefully lift yourself out of hero pose. Come to a prone position on the floor, arms stretched out in a T-shaped position, palms facing down, keeping the shoulders glued to the floor, eye gaze forwards. Inhale as you lift the right leg up, reaching your right foot over towards the left hand, scorpion pose. Take 5 deep breaths. Don't worry if the foot doesn't touch your hand, that's absolutely fine, just let it hang. Let the weight of your leg twist the hips, creating a twist and stretch in the spine. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to lift the right leg back up and over and exhale as you place it back down. Inhale as you switch sides, lifting the left leg up, reaching your left foot over towards your right hand. And again, take 5 deep breaths. Prone scorpion pose not only helps to relieve tightness in the lower back, but at the same time will stretch off your shoulders, chest and arms. Nearly there now, just a few last breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to lift back up and over, exhale to place the left leg back down and come back up onto your hands and knees. We are going to come into frog stretch now. Take the legs out wide and ensure that your feet are flexed to protect the knees. Carefully come down onto your forearms and push back into the hips. We will be here for 10 breaths. You can make this stretch more dynamic by rocking back and forth in the hips, reaching back and getting deeper a little more each time. Always exhale as you go deeper into the stretch, and inhale to release tension or lift out. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. This stretch is a little awkward to get out of, so take your time and come back onto your hands and knees. Take the left foot outside of the left hand. We are coming into lizard lunge. Keeping the toes glued to the floor, see if you can let your knee track out sideways, letting the stretch get deeper into the hip and the groin. If you are comfortable here, see if you can come down onto your forearms. If you struggle, you can always use a block to meet halfway. Wherever you are comfortable, take 3 deep breaths, slowly in through the nose and out through the nose. You're coming up to halfway now, so just take a few more last breaths. Come back up onto your hands. Take the left hand and reach back to grab the right ankle, bending at the knee, bringing the heel towards the bum to create a stretch in the front of the right thigh. See if you can come back down onto your right forearm. Allow the left toes to lift, letting the knee out to the side further, rolling over to the outside of the foot, the knife edge of the foot. If you want to go further, flex the foot and kick back into the hand, twisting the left shoulder back and round, taking your eye gaze back too. Keep lifting and twisting for around 3 to 5 breaths. Exhale to release and come back onto the hands and knees to switch sides. Right foot comes forwards, place outside of the right hand, keeping those toes glued to the floor, let the knee track out sideways. Again, if you want to, see if you can come down onto your forearms. Remember, you can use that block if you struggle. And once more, take 3 deep breaths, all the way in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Come back up onto your hands. Take the right hand this time and reach back to grab the left ankle. Bending at the knee, bring the heel towards the bum to create that stretch in the front of the left thigh. Allow the right toes to lift, letting the knee go out to the side, rolling over onto the knife edge of the foot. And again, if you want to go further, come back down onto your left forearm, flex the foot and kick back into the hand, twisting the right shoulder back and round, taking your eye gaze back too. Keep lifting and twisting for around 3 to 5 breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in, and then exhale to release. Come to seated. Take the left leg, placing the shin horizontally in front of you. Next, take the right leg, stacking the foot on top of the left knee. Right knee should be stacked on top of left foot. If this is not possible, you can always come to bound ankle pose, placing the soles of the feet together, or just sit cross-legged. Make sure your sit bones are connected with the floor. Then take a deep breath in, lifting the body and lengthening the spine. The aim is to lift the body up and over the legs. Exhale as you fold over the legs, reaching forwards, bringing your hands to the floor in front. Hold for 5 to 10 breaths. Nearly there now, just a few last breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to release and then switch over to the other side. Take the right leg, placing the shin horizontally in front of you, then take the left leg, stacking the right foot on top of the left knee. Left knee should be stacked on top of right foot. Make sure your sit bones are connected to the floor. Take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine, and exhale as you fold over the legs, reaching forwards. Bring your hands to the floor in front. Hold for 5 to 10 breaths. Just a few more last breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in. Exhale completely. And then inhale to come back up. Staying in seated, bring the legs straight out in front of you. Pull the fleshy bits of your bum out from underneath, connecting the sit bones to the floor. Flex the toes back towards you. Inhale to lift the arms up above the head, lengthening the spine. Exhale to fold forwards, bringing the chest towards the thighs, keeping length in the spine before allowing the head to drop towards the knees. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths, using the exhale to get deeper into the stretch. Use the inhale to lift out each time just slightly, releasing tension, before exhaling to go deeper again. 10 breaths can feel like a long time, so by using the breath in this way, you can make it more of a dynamic movement and kill time, making it a little bit more interesting to hold. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Then inhale to come all the way back up. Come down onto your back. Inhale to bring both knees to your chest and hug them with both arms. You can rock from side to side, massaging the lower back. Take both hands over to your left knee. Exhale as you extend your right leg all the way to the floor. Inhale to pull your left knee into your left shoulder. Take 3 deep breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to bring both knees back to center. Switch the hands over to your right knee. Exhale as you extend your left leg all the way to the floor. Inhale to pull your right knee into your left shoulder. And again, take 3 deep breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in. Exhale completely. And then slowly inhale as you bring both knees back to center. Take your hands out in a T-shaped position, palms facing down. Make sure your shoulders stay glued to the floor. Exhale as you drop both your knees over to the left side of your body. Inhale as you twist your head to look at the back of the opposite hand. Shoulders should remain connected to the floor, but if you want, you can push down on the outside of your right leg with your left hand, or extend the top leg and cradle your right foot in your left hand. Take 5 deep breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to bring both your knees and your head back to center. Exhale as you drop both knees over to the right side of your body this time. Inhale as you twist your head and look at the back of the opposite hand. Your shoulders should remain connected to the floor, but if you want, you can press down on the outside of your left leg with your right hand, or extend the top leg and cradle your left foot with your right hand. Take 5 deep breaths. Take one last deep breath all the way in and exhale completely. Inhale to bring both your knees and your head back to center. Exhale and extend both legs down to the floor to corpse pose. And just take a moment to catch your breath or enjoy a short savasana. Thank you for joining me in this cooldown phase. I hope you have enjoyed Flotality's CrossFit Yoga Series.